that people can hold in the church. All of these offices are relative or connected to the basic gift to all baptism. Our dignity is dependent on one thing, the extent to which we have lived out our baptismal calling. We know that the ceremony of baptism is a beautiful one. In it we were formally given a name and welcomed into the family of God's people. John is my baptismal name. Lovely prayers were said over us. Our body was signed with the sign of the cross, the mark of Christ's love for us. Water was poured over us. Water is a symbol of cleansing, and in baptism we are cleansed of sin. But it is more especially a symbol of life. In baptism we are given a share in the undying life of God. Not once but twice our bodies were anointed with holy oil. Just as the body of athletes were smeared with oil to give them strength to compete, so we were anointed with holy oil to give us strength for the inevitable struggle against evil, to face the temptations in life. And just as kings, prophets, and priests were anointed with oil and thus marked out as God's ministers to the community, so we are anointed with the oil of chrism, that we may be envoys of Christ in the world. Our body was covered with a white gown, the outward sign of our Christian dignity. We were given a candle lighted from the Easter candle to signify the precious light of faith. God called us out of darkness into the wonderful light of His Son. Now what happened at the baptism of Jesus happened at our baptism too. God called us by name. He said to each of us, "You are my beloved son," or "You are my beloved daughter." And the Spirit descended on us in order to help us to live the life of a Christian and to participate in the mission of Jesus. From a spiritual point of view, baptism is the greatest thing that can happen to us. To be baptized is to be Christian, that is to be made like Christ. But this does not happen automatically as a result of being baptized. We have to learn what it means to be a Christian and to grow into it. This is the task of a lifetime. Towards the end of his life, a son was asked if he was a Christian, and he replied, "Not yet." There are many vocations in the church, but the most important vocation of all is common to all the baptized. It is the vocation we receive at baptism, the vocation to be disciples of Jesus. This is the core vocation. Every other vocation in the church needs to be seen in relation to this one. The Christian vocation is a vocation to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Christianity is about how to live, not just about what to believe. There should be no distinction between religious activity and the acts of every day. Faith has to be translated into action. Catherine Doherty said, "Do not bother proclaiming that you believe unless you act accordingly." Big or small, or very small, we have birthday celebration. So we should have a celebration for our baptismal day, because this was the day we were born as children of God. Every time we enter a church and sign ourselves with holy water, we are reminding ourselves of our baptism. ourselves to live up to it. To live one's baptism is to live as a disciple of Jesus. May the feast of baptism of the Lord this year inspire us and remind us of our own baptism, so that we can live our baptism in life with God, with the others, and with each of us. And we can hear from God, as the Father said to Jesus on his baptism nearly 2,000 years ago, "You are my son, you are my daughter, my beloved, my favor rests on you."